Hello and welcome to Learn Yourself. Today we are going to learn about how to distinguish between physical change and chemical change. So here we are going to solve some of the example and we will categorize them in physical and chemical change. These topics are under ICSE Standard 8 syllabus from 2nd chapter. So here I have mentioned some of the changes. These are the physical changes and these are the chemical changes. Now one by one I will explain you that why these changes are categorized as physical and these changes are categorized as chemical. So first is melting of ice. So while we are talking about physical change, we have to keep in mind that this change should be temporary. There should not be any new substance formed. There won't be any energy change, or if energy change is there, it will be temporary, and whatever the new substance will, whatever the new result will be after change, that should be reversible, easily reversible, and the composition and the property of a substance should not be changed after a physical change. So melting of ice. When we are talking about melting of ice, it is converting from solid to liquid. There is an energy change, but the net energy change will remain zero when liquid will again become solid. In this process, the water's composition is not going to change. Any new substance is also not going to form. So this is a physical change. Second is addition of salt to water. While we are adding a salt to water, salt will take a position in between the water molecule. It will mix thoroughly. Now, when you will boil the water and evaporate the water, you will get your salt back. So, this is a physical change and we are not going to make any new compound, any new substance. And change will be easily reversible. Once you will evaporate the water, you are going to get whatever salt you have added will be back. So this is also a physical change. Third, boiling of milk. By boiling of, we are not changing its composition. We are not making any new substance and its property is not going to change. So this is a physical change. Then rain cycle. Rain cycle is evaporation of water from the lake, from the pond, then it will be in the cloud form, then again the precipitation will happen and again it will come down on earth in rain form. But in this whole cycle, the water's composition is not going to change. Only its state will change. So from liquid to vapor, vapor to again liquid. So rain cycle is also a physical change. Then ringing electric bell. When a bell will ring, what will happen for a 2 to 3 second, that a dome of a bell will be magnetized and that change will reverse when we are pulling off the switch. When we are pressing the switch, that dome will be magnetized and the bell will ring. But it will be for only 2 or 3 seconds. So the ringing of electric bell is also a physical change. That dome will be magnetized for 2 to 3 seconds and again it will be as it is. Now magnetization of iron nail. When we are rubbing an iron nail on magnet, it will possess a property of a tiny magnet. Now after hammering on the magnetic nail, it will loses its magnetic property, whatever it has possessed. So this change is easily reversible. We are not making any new substance and net energy change will remain zero. So this is physical change. Drying of fruits. Drying of fruits is a physical change because its molecular composition, its taste, then whatever fruit will be there is not going to change. Only the water droplets will be inside, will evaporate, and whatever the fruit components, vitamins and natural minerals will be there will be as it is in the fruit. So drying of fruit is a physical change. If the fruit will still or it is rotten, then it is a chemical change. But only drying of fruit is physical change. Now going towards a chemical change. So fermentation. So fermentation is a chemical change. We are taking an example of idli dosa batter. Then earlier it was not a frothy mixture, but after fermentation it is a frothy mixture. So fermentation is a process which you cannot reverse. The net energy change is not a zero, and there is a new substance formed by fermenting a batter. So this is a chemical change where a new substance is formed. Respiration. Respiration is a chemical process because in this oxygen is combining with hemoglobin, and again the carbon dioxide is combining with hemoglobin, and they are making a new compound, and in this energy will be released. So the net energy change is not a zero, and this is a chemical change, and you cannot also reverse it. Then burning of paper. When paper will burn, it will become ash. You cannot reverse it. The net energy change is not a zero, and the completely new substance will form out of a paper. Earlier it was a cellulose, now it has become carbon. So a completely new substance has been formed. So this is a chemical change. Now burning of sulfur. When sulfur is burned, it will become sulfur dioxide. So this is a chemical reaction in which a new substance is formed. So this is a chemical change. Then digestion of food. In digestion of food, all the carbohydrates will be converting into a glucose. So this is a chemical reaction. A new substance is forming. Net energy change is not a zero, and this change is not reversible. So this is a chemical change. Lighting a matchstick. When you are burning a matchstick, then after that reaction, after that chemical reaction, a completely new substance will be formed, and whatever energy will be generated cannot be reversed. This reaction cannot be reversed easily. Net energy charge is also not zero, and completely new substance will be formed which is possessing a new set of property compared to earlier substance. So this is also a chemical change. Now let us see one of the reason this kind of questions are most likely to come in exam, because these are based on their characteristic property, and it is depending upon how you are going to characterize a certain change. So this is a format how you are going to answer this particular type of reason, that this is a reason that rusting of iron is a chemical change. In this type of reason, the answer will be there in the question itself. They are saying that rusting of iron is a chemical change. That means we don't need to identify this change. The answer is already there. Only we need to justify this statement with our arguments. And in arguments, what we are going to write is characteristic properties of chemical change and physical change. That's it. So here the first statement is rusting of iron is a chemical change, but magnetization of iron is a physical change. So there are two statements in this. This is a chemical change. Both are pertaining to iron only. That if the iron will get rust, then it is a chemical change. But if iron will be magnetized, then it is a physical change. Why? So in this I have made a two part. You can write the answer in the same way. This will be very easy. If you will write all these things in long sentence, then it will be a very big paragraph and you will waste a lot of your time in only one reason. So this is the easy and smallest method where you will accommodate all the characteristic property, you will justify the complete answer in a short time. So first is rusting of iron, and here it is magnetization of iron. Like this you can make a table. In this you write your points like this, that in rusting of iron Fe2O3, this is the formula of rust. Wherever the chemical change will be there and any new substance is forming, it is must that you will write a chemical formula for that. It will show that earlier it was iron and now it has become this. So it is very important that whatever new substance is formed, that molecular formula you should know and you have to write. So rusting of iron is Fe2O3, that is a new substance, So from Fe it has become Fe2O3 and that is a new substance. This change is permanent. Fe2O3 has a new set of properties and composition compared to Fe. So this statement is going to same for each and every reason if the reason will be like this. One is a chemical change, another one is a physical change. Here only you have to change the new substance molecular formula or the name of that substance. Here if you will write iron 3 oxide, then it is well and good. Then magnetization of iron. Here we have concluded that this is a chemical change. Why? Because it is under characteristic property of chemical change. And here we are justifying this statement that it is a temporary change. Iron's property and composition is not going to change and no new substance formed. So hence, and because of this, the rusting of iron is a chemical change, but the magnetization of iron is a physical change will be your last statement here. Basically, whenever this kind of reason will come, you have to make a column like this, and whatever chemical change has been given to you, there you write all the chemical change characteristic, and wherever they have given the physical change, you write all the characteristic of physical change. If you have any doubt in new substance form, then avoid writing it. But to get a full mark, it is must. But don't leave the answer if you don't know this new substance. So instead of leaving the complete question blank, you can write all the characteristic of chemical change and all the characteristic of physical change. And last statement will be, hence it has proved that this change is a chemical change and this change is a physical change. So this is the pattern of writing any reason. So in my next video we are going to learn some of the new questions, some of the new reasons and some new examples based on physical change and chemical change. So stay tuned, don't forget to subscribe, learn yourself. I'll see you in next video.